Hey there, friend. Welcome to Christian Compass, where ancient wisdom meets real life. My name is Bryn. Today, we're taking a journey back to the very beginning. No, not your alarm clock this morning, farther back than that. Genesis back, the story of Adam and Eve. We're diving into one of the most well known stories in the Bible, Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. But don't worry, we're not just retelling the story you've heard since Sunday school. We're pulling out some real, raw, and relatable lessons that still apply in our lives today. So grab your Bible, a journal, or just open your heart. But please hit the like and subscribe button so that I can grow and get the word out to as many people as possible. Now, let's get into it. In Genesis 2, we meet Adam. He was formed from dust with God's breath in his lungs. He's placed in a perfect garden that's called Eden, where there's no email and no dishes, only peace, beauty, and purpose. God creates Eve as a companion, not a servant, not an afterthought, but as a partner. Together, they live in harmony with nature, with each other, and with God. They had freedom, joy, and purpose. God gave them one rule: do not eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. Spoiler alert, they eat from the tree. Now enters the serpent. The serpent wasn't some cartoon snake. It was a symbol of deception and manipulation. It questions God's motives. It makes us think, did God really say this or did God really say that? That line right there has taken down more people than the fruit ever did. Doubt creeps in. Eve looks at the fruit. It looked good, desirable, and wise. She takes a bite, and then Adam does too. Their eyes are opened, but not in the way that they had hoped. They feel exposed, afraid, guilty, and then they try to cover up and hide. Does that sound familiar? When God shows up, they hide. Not because he's angry, but because they feel ashamed. God asks, "Where are you?" Not because he lost them, but to invite them out of hiding. They blame each other. Eve blames the serpent. Adam blames Eve and God. The woman you gave me, well, consequences follow. Pain in work and childbirth, separation from paradise, banished from Eden. But here's the grace. God makes them garments. He covers their shame. Even when discipling, God provides. The story of Adam and Eve isn't about the ancient fruit. It's about modern struggles. Boundaries are not punishment. God didn't say no to be a buzzkill. He was protecting them, just like some of God's no's in your life are meant to guard your purpose, not steal your joy. Temptation isn't ugly, it's attractive. The serpent was persuasive. Temptation often comes in the form of something that seems good or even wise. That's why discernment matters. Shame isolates, while grace restores. God didn't shame Adam and Eve. They hid. God invited them out, and he still does that today. No matter what we've done, he's always calling us back into the relationship. Blame blocks growth. Responsibility, it opens healing. Blaming others might feel easier, but owning your part is where the transformation begins. Here's some ways that we can apply these lessons to our daily life. Practice daily awareness. Ask, is this choice drawing me closer to God or away from Him? Recognize temptation early. If something looks too good to be true, it might just be the fruit again. Drop the fig leaves. Stop hiding. God already knows and still wants you. Let God cover your shame. His grace is deeper than your guilt. You're not banished, you're invited. Let's take a moment to reflect. You can write these down or answer in the comments if you feel comfortable. What is your forbidden fruit? Something you know isn't good for you but feels tempting. Where have you been hiding emotionally or spiritually? What shame are you ready to let God cover today? Where have you blamed others instead of owning your growth? God's not looking for perfect behavior. He's looking for honest hearts. Thank you so much for joining me today. Adam and Eve's story may be old, but its truth is timeless. If this spoke to you, please like, comment, and subscribe to keep these conversations going. Share this with someone who needs to know you are not too far gone. Grace still calls your name. Until next time, walk in truth, live in grace, and stay rooted. See you on the next video.